Thank you, Judy. That was way too nice. I'm sitting on a dais with Chris, Susan, Bill, Alberto, Sam, Charlie, Koki, Barbara. It is to follow the best of the best is a great and I think very humbling honor for me, and I'm here, of course, representing all of Google and happy to be part of this. Messy, disorganized, fundamental, that's what free speech is. Without free speech, you don't have democracy. Democracy enables a conversation, but it also keeps the powerful honest. Without democracy, we would have a very, very different world. Without free speech, we wouldn't have democracy. It's very simple. Transparency, which is the word I use for much of what you all are talking about, is really the key now. Why is it not possible to stream every government meeting real time to everyone in the world? Is there some reason why? We have the cameras, we've got the bandwidth, we've got the internet, and believe me, we've got the viewers. Somewhere on the internet, there's somebody who cares about that meeting. Think about if we knew what every part of our government and every other part of every other government was doing, how much more we would know, not just what was happening, but we would be able to figure out what would happen. Imagine if you could publish the markups of all the bills in real time from start to finish. And we'd see how we started with one objective and we ended up with another. Easy to do now. Why don't we do it? We haven't done it. I don't know why. It's obvious. It's sitting right in front of us. Let's do it. Now, the internet is the fastest growing communications medium in history. Everybody here knows all of this. 1.4 billion people, adding a couple hundred million a year, mostly outside the United States. In the next 3.5 years, another billion people will get mobile phones, which will have some form of internet access. We're going to hear their voices for the first time in history, and we have no idea what they say because we don't speak their language. That is a remarkable achievement, that in our lifetimes, we'll at least be able, at least in theory, to communicate with almost every human who's alive today. So along the way, there'll be this explosion, and you see it today. Everyone here has a mobile phone. Everyone's mobile phone now has a GPS and a camera, and in many cases, a video camera. Imagine when those devices have the computing power, not only to record everything, but to keep you posted on everything that you care about. This is happening now, and it's going to happen very, very quickly. So why do we think the internet has taken off so dramatically? Well, everyone has their story, but it's obvious to me that it's about self-expression. That self-expression is the most fundamental of human needs. I want to be heard. In unison, 6 billion people every day. Or is it 7? We'll find out because we can count them. So the first time in history we can actually reach them. So in our lifetimes, we're going to go from a very small number of people, the privileged people, to have access to the majority of the world's information in encyclopedias and libraries, to literally every human on the planet, everyone equal in my view, and I suspect in all of our view, will have the same opportunity for access, improvement, and entertainment. So this notion of self-expression has been so fundamental, but it was constrained because publishing constrained it. But the technology that has erupted around all of us, that I've been so privileged to be part of, has created this new opportunity for a very different form of communication. And of course, what people are doing is they're publishing at an astonishing pace. It alarmed me to find out that there are 120,000 blogs created every day. You conclude that people have a lot to say, and they're going to say it. And everyone has an opinion. And some of them are kind of wacky. The important point here is that when we look at the outcome of this, I mean, I was also alarmed this week. Every minute, 15 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube. Now, if you watch those videos, you may be concerned about the wisdom of the First Amendment, okay? And I defy you to watch them for any period of time before going screaming out of the room. But the fact of the matter is, this is a consequence of both technology. And I'm using YouTube as an example, but the same is true of Twitter, Facebook, and Wikipedia, which are fundamentally important for this whole conversation. And the way we cope with this, of course, this overload and all this, is it's important to know where the off button is to decide how much of this you want to participate in. But the important link here is that free speech is, thank goodness, a right granted by our law, which is what this evening is all about, and which I'm so proud to be associated in a small way with, around people who have worked on this for their whole lives. But it's now driven and accelerated by technology. We are driving control freaks and governments and bureaucrats crazy, and it's a good thing. So, computer scientists, and I'm a computer scientist, have a saying about the internet that, and the founder of the internet is inventor of the internet is actually in the room, that the internet routes around censorship. And by that we mean that the power of expression and the power in people's hands is a force that traditional governments and traditional government control and censorship have never seen before. And whether it's independent media organizations using YouTube to express themselves, as we saw in the video, or Myanmar's crackdown on Buddhist monks, using Blogger and so forth and so on, we see this, and I have the privilege of seeing this every day. We need to strengthen all forms of communication, reporting, and expression. As Judy was so nicely to highlight, we need the independent voice of newspapers, and in particular, the reporting and investigative reporting that they do so well. We need to spend more time, not less time, on that. So the sum of us are committed to getting to a better and a more accurate truth to move the world forward. There will never be a perfect way of combating censorship or privacy violations at home or abroad, but we're going to do our part. I'm here to tell you that we stand with you in this incredibly important goal. Thank you very much.